Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. By Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. And by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Some players that have modeled both uniforms. Might not have remembered Travis Hafner with the Yanks. But you remember that guy. He'll be in the Hall of Fame this summer. Karsten Charles Sabathia. Big crowd filing into the ballpark here in the Bronx. The Yankees have taken the field for the rubber game in this three-game set. Take a look at the Guardians starting lineup. Stephen Kwan, Angel Martinez, and Jose Ramirez at the top. The middle three, David Fry, Carlos Santana, Gabriel Arias. And then the bottom third of the order is Bo Naylor, John Kensey Noel, and Will Wilson, the second baseman, batting ninth. Slade Ciccone, first start against the Yankees in his career. Max Fried, the 13th start of his season, 7-1, 1.92. Certainly in the Cy Young conversation, certainly in the American League All-Star conversation. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Well, fantastic four-seamer. You think about him as a breaking ball, but he's got a great fastball. Last year, hitters 263 off his fastball. This year, 160, and the strikeouts are way up also. Still under 2. He talked about that little hiccup he had in L.A. Still, without outing, his ERA is 1.92. He's been terrific. And the right guy, yeah, he's been great in starts after the Yankees to lose. .066 ERA, and they've won all 6 of his starts.
Why don't we check out the defense behind him, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Dominguez back. You just heard him talking to Meredith. Trent Grisham in center. Cody Bellinger over in right infield. It's Chisholm, Volpe, Peraza, and Rice. They give LeMahieu the day off. That's third to first. Wells behind the plate. Aaron Judge, the DH. And we told you about Max Fried on the mound. Guardians 33-27. The Yankees are 37-23. Stephen Kwan 2 for 7 so far in the series. He's ready. Fried is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is high. We're underway. Corey Blazier, the home plate umpire. Alex Tosi at first. Manny Gonzalez at second. And the crew chief, Ronald Culpa, is over third. Stephen Kwan hitting .312 overall, but he's been a road warrior. He hits .347 on the road. Fourth best in baseball. Judge, Goldschmidt, and Ryan O'Hearn are the only ones with better road batting averages. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And the lefty deals. Just misses with the breaking ball inside.
And with the breaking ball away, then he tried to throw one right at his front hip and hit the inside corner. Did not get the call.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Kwan down on strikes. Not an easy guy to strike out. One away. All right, Paul, it's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, you're going for 4. The Yankees have won 3 consecutive home series, trying to make it 4 tonight. They are 19-10 so far here in the Bronx. And thumbs up. Jason Dominguez back in the lineup after missing a couple games with the bruised left thumbs. And it doesn't happen often. The Yankees shut out last night for the second time. So we'll see if their offense can bounce back tonight.
Now, it happens a lot against the Indians, though, for all teams. 8 shutout pitched by the Indian staff. Not all complete games, obviously. And only the Padres with 10 have more. But for the Guardians, the first shutout at Yankee Stadium since August 9th of 2014. And that was also known as Paul O'Neill Day.
I told you last night I thought Corey Kluber kind of ruined that. And he shut him out. That's right. Forgot to mention, we were talking about shutouts. Last night, yesterday in the game notes, Don Drysdale, back when he was, with the Dodgers, I think he threw his 6th complete game shutout in a row. And yesterday was the day that happened in the days of baseball. I love that part of the game notes.
Swing and a miss. Martinez down on strikes. Let's see what the home plate umpire is all about, Paul. Corey Blazier. 16th major league season. He's considered pitcher friendly, so more outside strikes on righty batters, and he calls more low strikes. Here is Jose Ramirez. 30-game on-base streak. His career long is 32 straight games. He did that in 2018.
Might as well just throw that same graphic up every single year. He always is there. Good average, good home runs, good stolen bases. Just one of the American League's best players.
That was a backdoor breaking ball for a strike. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 86 degrees. It's a perfect June evening. Driving in today on my car dashboard, 93.
Yeah, it was smart. Well, you know what? When you're at a standstill on the Deegan, the heat radiates up a little bit. So you've got to give it a couple degrees.
It does.
But you know what? It's beautiful right now. It's still cooling off a little bit at night. Audrey doesn't even have a fur coat on here. She's in good shape.
The 2-2. Broken bat looper toward Volpe. On the hop, it's Chisholm, and it's a base hit for Ramirez. So he has 31 straight games reaching, and just a broken bat single.
Talk about a jam shot. This did not even get to the third baseman. The only person that could have caught this is possibly Freed. Just a sawed-off jam shot. Ramirez has great speed. We talk about him stealing bases, so you had no chance for Jazz to throw him out. Ouch.
David Fry takes inside 1-0. Came off the IL first game. He's 1 for 5. He picked up a ribby.
Hear guys screaming, you know, that's a line drive in the scorebook, talking about Ramirez's hit. But, you know, I used to get so irritated because the line drive that you hit like a bullet looks like a strikeout in the scorebook, huh?
That's true. The exit velo on that single was 39 miles per hour.
That's still faster than we were going on the Deegan. Huh?
That's for sure. Ramirez has 16 stolen bases, but Freed has a phenomenal pickoff move. And there it is, but he throws it past Rice. Ramirez gets up and will scoot to second. We'll see who the error's on. Sometimes you could pick off your first baseman.
Well, he has such a deliberate, slow leg, kind of hangs it, and then just all of a sudden, I think he caught Rice off guard. Yeah, maybe he threw a sinker and he's looking for a four-seamer.
And that is an error on Rice. Three and 0 on Fry. And a strike. 3-1.
Interesting to see Fry as DH in the 4-hole with Santana behind him as a switch hitter anyway.
Runner goes, and stolen base. Number 17 for Ramirez. Got a good jump.
Yeah, if they're going to give it to you, might as well take it. You can always get an errant throw. And now, you know, the wild pitch comes into play here. But Ramirez just, I mean, we've talked about it in these 3 games. Just, he does everything. And stolen bases, 40 last year. He's on his way to 40 again this year.
This is with the backdoor breaking ball, so Fry walks.
Went with the, you're right, Michael, the slow curveball trying to hit the outside corner. Never got back to it.
You know, at the beginning of the series, we put a tip jar out here because we thought that you would say Indian a couple times.
Last night I did once.
See, I didn't hear it. I just said it.
Yeah?
So I have to put $1 in.
We're even then.
And I did not say the entire 3-game set in Cleveland. And I don't know why I just said it then.
I usually apologize. I'm trying to graduate away from the apology.
You just call them Cleveland.
Yeah, it's easier that way. You know, when you grow up in Ohio, it's not clear. It's the mistake on the lake.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Oh, 1 on Santana. He has faced Fried 9 times. He has 1 hit. He struck out 4 times against Fried. One and 1. So just think about what that broken bat, 37-mile-an-hour hit has caused. It's caused him to throw all these extra pitches. And he's in a jam in the first inning.
Yeah, and now he's throwing stressful pitches, trying to get out of this first inning. Got 2 outs, trying to get out of it without giving up a run.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. And a stolen base for Fry.
You saw Ramirez kind of cheating down there, just daring Wells to throw. And this is the right play. You know, give them second base. Just trust that Fried can get an out here.
This becomes a very important batter now. 23 pitches into the first inning for Fried. He got the first 2 outs on 9 pitches. And now he's at pitch number 24. Pitches you throw in the first inning take away from pitches you might throw in the 7th. Foul back here.
Got a shot, Michael. Dive.
Just under our booth.
Finney, you couldn't get it either. And everybody jumping for that ball.
But that was a perfect one.
Oh, yeah. You could
had a little loop to it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Wasn't a line drive.
One, 2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. Still 2-2.
Frustrating for Fried. You talked about it, 2 outs and 9 pitches. Now he's in the 30s, and all of a sudden, you're going to throw your 28th pitch. And Santana won't go down easily.
Popped up. Looks like he'll get out of it. Rice puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs a hit. 1 error and 2 men left. Guardians nothing. Yankees coming back. Not allowing a run in the top of the first. Now it's the Yankees' turn. Trent Grisham will lead off and play center. Ben Rice at first. Aaron Judge the DH. Middle third of the order. Bellinger, Chisholm, and Volpe. And then the bottom third. Jason Dominguez back in the lineup, playing left. Austin Wells behind the plate. Oswald Peraza gets the start at second. We saw Max Fried with the start against the Guardians. Slade Ciccone, 4th start, 1-1, 5.28 ERA, more than a strikeout per inning. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Yeah, he is building up after being early injury with the oblique strain. This is only his 4th start of the year. 7 pitches, mostly a fastball, slider, and a curve. Also mixes in a changeup, sinker, and a bigger breaking ball. And on the list, and he's got a long list, that's Aaron Judge. He's only faced the Yankees 1 time in his career. And Aaron Judge launched one on him, Michael.
1 of 3. Let's take a look at the Guardians defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Juan, Martinez, and Noel. Ramirez, Arias, Wilson, and Santana going narrow behind the plate.
How about Slade? That sounds like a gladiator or something.
I don't mind that name.
Slade.
Yeah.
Huh?
You'd have to be a tough kid with that name.
Exactly.
He's 25 years old, 3rd big league season. traded from Arizona to Cleveland in December for Josh Naylor. And also a competitive balanced draft pick also went to the Diamondbacks. He was a swingman for Arizona last year, 6.66 ERA. And the Guardians have been working with him on his mechanics, and he said, when you have the season I had, you're eager to make some adjustments.
Fine-tune a few things. So if you're Bo Naylor behind the plate and you're catching Ciccone, who your brother was traded for.
That's true.
What are you thinking here? Huh?
I think you wish him bad things, right? Is that what you're hinting at?
Well,
Although Santana has done well, they miss Josh Naylor's presence in that lineup. 2-2.
yeah, Josh Naylor was a run producer, and you look at their offense, you know, how bad it's been so far to date this year. You know, they miss his run production.
And down goes Grisham, tipped into the glove of Naylor. That's going to bring up Rice. Rice had an E3 in the top of the inning. The throw on the pickoff by Fried.
Yeah, looks like
just whiffed on it.
Kind of handcuffed him a little bit, and all of a sudden, you know, he's just talking to Goldschmidt. What do you do here? How, you know, you got to remember, Rice is not a natural first baseman. He's still in a learning mode. And the guy he's talking to is a very good first baseman in Paul Goldschmidt.
Ben Rice takes high. So you always say, Paul, the harder you hit the ball, the better chance you have of getting a hit. Well, his average exit velocity, this is Rice, 94.6. That's 5th in baseball. That's how hard he's hitting the ball.
Yeah, you can tell, and he's made some adjustments. We've talked about it. He's opened up his stance, which allows that front hip, it just clears it, and it allows that bat head to get out a little bit quicker. And, you know, more bat speed, the harder he hit the baseball.
Popped up on the left side. Ramirez, a long run in foul territory. Can't make the play. Ball's untouched.
A long run for Ramirez, and you know that there's more room there than most of foul territory in Yankee Stadium with that little well right there.
Also, he saw that little peak. He's not playing at Progressive Field. He knows that one without looking, but he took a peek to see where the stands were, and it might have cost him. Hit sharply at Ramirez. He knocks it down. Paul, what was the EV on that?
110.3.
Wow.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard. You could tell. I mean, a natural shortstop, but you know, almost defensively knocked it down. And Ramirez moved over to shortstop from third base with a shift.
So here's Aaron Judge. One at bat against Ciccone, and he hit a home run. Last night he had his 28th multi-hit game of the year. That's the most in the majors. And that hits Judge and hits the umpire. Judge gets to take first, and Blazer takes a moment.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball, and then, you know what, intentional, absolutely not. But it ricochets off that guard, off the glove, off the mask. That hit 3 people, Mike.
Like pinball.
I was good at pinball.
I wasn't bad either.
Oh, those are great days. Captain Fantastic, that was my favorite pinball game. You got one? Come on.
I don't know if I had a favorite one.
Yeah.
I used to work in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a pinball machine. So when the movie was playing, I pretty much put my pay into the pinball machine.
Don't tell anybody, but my brother, he had ways of getting things. Yeah.
Slugs?
So he bent the back of it so you could reach the thing and you could get free games.
Wow.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't. Just between us.
We got to be past the time that I can get in trouble for this, but you know what? Playing pinball for free used to be a quarter. It for free was even better.
Count 0-2 on Bellinger. 2 for 8 so far in this series. That one's popped up. Shallow left. Coming on is Kwan. He's there and puts it away. No runs, no hits, no errors, a one-man left. Nothing. Angels live same-game parlay. Judge gonna hit a home run today. Dominguez, will he get a hit? Fried, how about 6 or more strikeouts? He had 2 in the first inning. He also threw 28 pitches in the first inning. And he averages 15 pitches per inning, 10th fewest in the American League. Grounded up the middle, nice grab there by Volpe. And he gets Arias for the first out.
Well, it's a good way to start an inning where you're trying to keep your pitch count down. 1 pitch, 1 out. Good play by Volpe, though. This ball was hit hard, too. Kind of up the middle. Running play. That ball can easily, you can kind of knock it out of your glove with your momentum going to get it.
So here's Bo Naylor. Now sometimes we do a deep dive into the analytics that a lot of the front offices look at and consider important. So we mentioned exit velocity does dictate if you get a hit or not. Well, it breaks down to this. Any ball that's hit from 90 to 94 miles an hour off the bat, the expected batting average is 221. 95 to 99, it goes to 315. So 95 miles an hour is the key for exit velocity.
Yeah, and you know what? When you look at, and I've talked about it many times when Stanton was in the lineup and Judge are in the lineup, their ground balls get through the hole a lot because they hit the ball harder.
You see some balls that Stanton and Judge hit, ground balls in the infield. The infielder doesn't move.
Yeah, you
have no chance to catch.
You have no time for reaction. It's just hit that much harder.
1-2.
You think about a hitter, and okay, I'm facing a pitcher that throws 93, and the difference of 93 to 99. All right, that's 6 miles an hour. But the difference is unbelievable. Now you take a 95-mile-an-hour exit velocity, and then Judge and Stanton go to 110, 112, 115. Right. I mean, the time that you don't have any time to react as a player.
Naylor 1 for 7 in the series so far. Popped up, left center. Grisham there to make the play. 1 down. Check out Cooking Up Something Special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. This is Max Fried throwing 4-seamers. So last year opponents hit 263 against it. This year 160. Slugged at 340, now 260. They struck out 15% of the time last year, 23.2 this year. It's been an effective pitch for him.
Yeah, I don't know if, I know he changed his grip on his 2-seamer. Actually calls it a 1-seamer, kind of moved his fingers a little bit. I just wonder if he, tweaked his 4-seamer, because that's a huge difference.
1-0 on Jhonkensy Noel. One and one. Noel in 3 at-bats in the first 2 games. He has a hit. That got a good bit of Wells. Count 1-2.
There's a 4-seamer right there, and a lot of swing and misses and a lot of foul balls. And there's just something about a guy that can get away with the 4-seamer. It's got a little jump to it, a little hop, maybe a little cut.
2-2. And the pitch. Count is full. Will Wilson on deck. He hasn't given up a run yet, but of concern is 41 pitches.
Well, he got off to a great start in this inning. One pitch, one out, but all of a sudden these at-bats, long counts, and a lot of foul balls start adding up.
Swing and a miss, got him. Dialed it up to 96 on the four-seamer. So 1-2-3 inning. Strike Pride brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's picture is of Thomas, who's making sure his granddaughter Ellie is part of the next generation of Yankee fans. Starting to write. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game.
I was digging the Mickey Mantle hat in there. On the father, right?
I think he's going to like you. I think that was a grandpa.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
You know what?
Looks young.
I heard the end of the story. I was staring at the hat.
Now, your grandkids, are any of them talking yet?
Oh, talking. You kidding me?
Are you grandpa? Are you papa? I mean, you came up with
Depends on, you could be P, you could be Papa,
Uh-huh.
you could be Paul from
Paul.
because Charlie, who's just starting to speak, he Paul. No, it's Papa, not Paul. I think he thinks he's from West Virginia or something.
Two and one. Chisholm 2 for 7, first two games of the series, with a big home run in the first game. Broke a 1-1 tie. 2-2 on the Yankee third baseman.
Go back to the grandkids. You hear Mimi much more. That's what they call Neville. And you know why? Because Mimi shows up with presents every time we go to the house. They know where their bread's buttered, right?
Well, she should know. Papa's paying for those.
I try to tell them. They don't understand that yet.
High pop-up, shallow right. Noel puts it away. So one down, that brings up Anthony Volpe. So Anthony yesterday grounded into 2 double plays. That matched the total that he had in the first 58 games he played.
Stephen Kwan hit into his first double play of the year last night, too.
There's a strike. There's Jason Dominguez. Another pop-up on the right side. Santana. 2 down.
Volpe going back to the dugout, obviously frustrated over the pitch that got him in a hole.
Dominguez dodged a significant injury with that thumb contusion. A slide into second base. Only missed a couple of games. Obviously no IL stint, so he's pleased about that.
All right, Mike, I'm going to get on my soapbox here. If I'm running a minor league organization right now,
I know where you're going.
you're not allowed to slide head first. There's too many injuries involved. It doesn't help you in any way. And if you're making a tag, put yourself at shortstop. Would you rather see a hand coming at you or your spikes?
You're right.
It just makes no sense to me.
Hard hit ball to the shortstop Arias. And he gets Dominguez as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the third. Stars. Scan the QR code to cast your 2025 Pro Spirit MLB All-Star Ballot daily or visit MLB.com/vote. A lot of Yankees on that ballot. There's Will Wilson. And a strike by Fried.
What Cleveland does, Michael, when we're looking at the numbers, like yesterday, there were 8 lefties facing Schmidt. Today, there's only 2 lefties in the lineup. By far, they have the platoon advantage of anybody in baseball, meaning that they flip-flop their lineup. They have some switch hitters. 78% of the time, they have a lefty on right or righty on left, where the average is only 54%.
Wow. So 3 lefties on the bench, and Austin Hedges, the backup catcher. Did he go? Nope. And what they have on the bench, and Boone knowing about that platoon advantage, well, that dictates who he's going to bring in out of the bullpen. He's got 2 lefties out there and 6 righties. But if he brings in the righties at a certain time, then those lefties are going to be coming off the bench.
You're wondering where the Yankees are in this platoon advantage. They're 59%, which is the 7th most. So, Aaron Boone does the same thing as trying to match up certain guys with certain pitchers.
Still 2-2. Third inning, 0-0. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Yankees won Tuesday. Guardians yesterday as Wilson goes down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Fried.
He usually uses this fastball up in the strike zone. This ball was kind of tugged down low, and he got away with it. You see, that's off center just enough to get a little movement.
Back to the top of the order, and Stephen Kwan. Well, when the Yankees signed Fried to that free agent contract, obviously they thought he was going to be a very important part of the rotation and what they wanted to do this season. But with the injury to Garrett Cole, that signing became so much more important because he has assumed the role of ace, and Carlos Rodano's had an unbelievably good year. He's a very solid number 2 and could be a number 1 on a lot of teams. So they have somehow absorbed the loss of their best pitcher and a former Cy Young Award winner.
And it's very hard to do to pitchers, especially your 4s and your 5s, to ask them to become your 2nd or your 3rd starters. Everybody's kind of comfortable in the role they are. Garrett Cole's comfortable as the ace. Well, obviously Max Fried is too, and as you said, Rodon has been phenomenal this year. But you can't take a number 5 starter who's a young kid, gets off to a good start, and all of a sudden you want him to be your ace immediately. That's very hard to do.
There's a lot of pressure involved with that because a lot of times the number 1 starter is facing another team's number 1, the way rotations line up. Lined into left center field. On the run is Dominguez, and he makes the play. Seems a lot more comfortable out there.
He got a good jump at his speed, as he had to put on the brakes. He doesn't gracefully go in yet like you see Grisham kind of coast into the ball. He kind of outran that ball and then to reach across his body.
Here's Angel Martinez. And a strike. Having a conversation with the Guardians, who are checking a replay. What could they have been looking at?
I think they were talking about the time. Did they engage at the right time or something like that? Maybe Max Fried they thought was kind of rushing things.
One and two.
Martinez, you remember yesterday in the first inning, he had the big blow off of Clark Schmidt, a long 2-run homer. Got Cleveland off to a good start, and they just flat out pitched well last night.
Swing and a miss. Ball is dropped. Out is made at first. 5th strikeout for Fried. He's retired 7 in a row. That looks refreshing on a hot night in the Bronx. In part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. This might have been what they were looking at in the Guardians dugout. Wells gets into his one knee down and looks like he's stepping on Martinez's foot as the pitch is delivered. Then Martinez looks at the ump and goes, really? Austin Wells will lead off. 1-0. Wells was sporting a pretty significant beard for a while, but looks like he's taking it all off.
Went through a little tough time. You try different things as a player, huh?
I'm sure that's part of it. Were you the superstitious type?
I don't know if it was superstition or just like habit. There were certain things I did. It just became habit. And if you didn't do them kind of the same way, I didn't know that, you would strike out 5 times, but it just, you felt more comfortable staying with your routine.
And Wells down looking. Wells actually told Brian Hoke of MLB that he was not going to shave until the Yankees lost the series. So they lost the series in LA. He's clipped it.
Yep.
Here's Peraza. 1-0. What'd you think of Boggs with the chicken and having to run at a certain time?
You know what? It became comical because Jimmy Key would set the clock back certain times, and I mean that he would absolutely freak out. I mean, there were certain things that Boggs he had to do in order to hit his usual 350, I guess.
Well, I remember the big clock out in the old stadium. He would be on the dugout step. I think he had a run at 7:17.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would stand in front of him just to freak him out.
And every time, like I said, in the locker room, you see Jimmy Key kind of giggle. He would set the clock ahead so Boggs would go out and wouldn't have the time to relax to go out at 7:17. So, if you're not superstition, you don't look at it. It means nothing to you as another player, but it freaks out some people.
Driven out into left center field off the bat of Peraza. It's a long run for Martinez, and he makes a really nice catch in left center field.
Boy, off the bat, I thought this ball was in the bullpen. A great swing and an even better play out in the center field. I mean, had a great sound, everything. Just hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. What a great play by Martinez.
He really hit the bottom of that wall hard.
Yeah, that's the concrete part that, you know, you ask Aaron Judge how those concrete things feel against your toes and your knees.
So back to the top of the order in Grisham. Grisham 10 for his last 64. Average now at 243. 0 for 7 in this series. Fly ball center field. Much more routine for Martinez as he drifts back and makes the play. And Ciccone has retired 7 in a row. Replays that happened 26 years ago. It felt like yesterday.
I remember the play well. El Duque couldn't get the ball out of the webbing, so he just chucked his glove over there. That's quick thinking and a good throw. Tino's got to be going to the bag thinking, what? Wait a minute here. I got a whole glove coming at me. They must teach that in Yankees PFP. Because the other Mulholland we showed about a week ago, right? He was with the Yankees for a while.
I got to tell you, I mean, you played behind him. What a performer and what an entertainer. I mean, and what a clutch player El Duque was.
Loved him. Loved playing with him. Loved to watch him from right field actually pitch around a couple guys to get the guy that he wanted. Was never, ever, you know, overwhelmed by any moment.
Look at the big game numbers. Postseason 9-3, 2.55.
I wonder if El Duque can still get that leg up there. That's quite a leg kick there.
I'll tell you this, if he was a free man, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. If he pitched his whole career in the big leagues.
Yeah.
He was that great.
Yeah, and there was an adjustment when he came here because, you know, he was that great over there. And then it took a while for him to become, you know, what he was here, too. So remember all the time he and Jorge going at it sometimes in the tunnel. And Jorge, he knew, you know, how great he was in Cuba. And then when he got here, you know, it's a different league. It's a different thing.
You would watch him, and he'd walk 3 guys, and the bases would be loaded, and you almost got the feeling he was doing it on purpose. He wanted to get to that guy to end the inning.
Yeah, and then he'd throw a pitch you haven't seen for strike 3.
What a showman. What as you said, a terrific guy. That's the 6th Yankee strikeout brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, Max Fried has found his game, but now he's got to really kind of fight the pitch total. That was his 63rd pitch, but you know, he's got total control of this lineup right now after the struggles he had in the first inning, but as usual got out of it.
My best El Duque story comes from a couple of years ago. I was on a baseball cruise with him, and one night it was rough seas, really rough. The boat was bobbing. And somebody came up to him, "Are you nervous?" He goes, "You know my story?"
You know, I got here. Yeah, exactly.
He had a pretty rough ride to get out of Cuba.
I remember the day, it was in the World Series, where his wife finally came. It was in San Diego. She finally got over here. And I can just remember to this day the emotion of El Duque.
1-2 on David Fry. He walked and stole a bag in the first inning. Only 1 hit in the game, and that's off the bat of Ramirez, a broken bat looper, left side of the infield. Fly ball right field and deep. Bellinger back. He's on the track. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. And a smile from Fried.
Yeah, we talk about it time and time again. Cody Bellinger, I don't know if this ball is going to make it out of the ballpark, but Cody Bellinger helps you defensively everywhere you put it. Looks like an easy play, but you know, you're moving, the wall's there. You're not accustomed to being there every day. Great play by Bellinger. Looks like he played some hoops too, huh?
What an athlete. He's so good defensively. I like the look of the little guy in the red shirt. No, I want no part of this. But then he loved the catch. Oh, that phone's going to blow up right now. Two and one on Santana. I think the Pants are higher than they've been for all three games.
You know, Luke Kakuza's washing those uniforms in hot water. They're shrinking a little bit.
Wow.
You know, it's amazing where, you know, the basketball shorts are starting to get shorter again. And football pants, some people, they don't even cover they don't even wear knee pads, receivers and stuff. And now you got baseball players wearing shorts.
I mean, I'm not saying they're quite hot pants, but they're a little strange looking.
He really wants to make sure the Blazer behind the plate can see his knees, huh? Where that low strike is.
I know everybody wants to show their individuality, but it's the old White Sox uniforms, I believe, in '76. But the word is called uniform.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have the uniform look. This is different.
You know, the biggest difference now when you talk about uniforms is cleats. Everybody had to wear the same cleats, color at least. And now, I mean, it can be, there's a full gamut of spikes that people wear out there.
Well, you're on two teams that really, the Reds and the Yankees.
Cincinnati Reds, I mean, the players complained for years.
Grounded to third. Chisholm makes the play. And another 1-2-3 inning. So 10 in a row retired by Fried. Take another look at Bellinger and the little guy that wanted the ball and then said, nah, I'm good.
Welcome back. It's time for tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Michael, I know you were wondering what's going on with Giancarlo Stanton. When are we going to see him in this Yankees lineup? Well, he's still in Tampa working out, according to Aaron Boone. He could begin a rehab assignment as early as next week. They still haven't made a decision on that. Obviously, decisions will need to be made when Stanton rejoins his team. But, man, what a bat they are going to get back in this lineup when he returns, Michael.
Now, there were some rumors, Meredith, that he might not need a rehab assignment because he's not going to play the field. And with the traject machine, he's seeing high velocity anyway. But are you getting the feeling now that he will see some rehab time?
Well, Michael, that in addition to all the lives he's been participating in, he has seen quite a bit of live pitching. So Aaron Boone said a decision not made yet, but it could come next week. I think in the next couple of days here this weekend, they're going to have to decide whether it's a rehab assignment or if he just joins the team.
So if it's not this weekend, Meredith, he's going to come back on the road either in Kansas City or at Fenway, and he likes Fenway a lot. 1-1 on Rice. One hopper to Wilson. And that'll bring up Judge. Judge, the only Yankee base runner. He was hit on the elbow pad on a breaking ball with very little bite. That's it. That's the only Yankee that has gotten on base. I saw a stat today. You keep reading these stats about Judge that, wow. All right, so he's the second player in Major League Baseball history with 20 or more home runs and a 380 or more batting average after the 60-game mark. Who's the other guy? We see it on Leaders, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Mickey Mantle, who won the Triple Crown in '56, and Aaron Judge. The only two.
Yeah, that's. I love when we put graphics of Judge up because it puts you in a spot where you see how great he is. Because you hear about Mickey Mantle, you hear about Joe DiMaggio, but who are the guys that are those of this era? Well, you're watching him right now.
That one is looped into right field. It's going to fall in for base hit. And bounce into the corner. Played out there by Noel. And Judge has the Yankees' first hit. It's a double.
Well, he challenged him with a fastball. Ball got in on him, but Aaron Judge, because he's so strong, he just fights it off. Kind of bloops it the other way. But you know what? In the scoreboard, we talked about it earlier in the game. That's a rope double off the wall, right, Mike?
That's the way I wrote it in. I'm glad you said about the numbers because, you know, we talk about Judge in such glowing terms. And, you know, we're on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network, so people say, well, they're biased. That one's driven deep to right center field. It has a chance. See ya! A two-run home run for Bellinger. Yankees on the board. It's 2-0 Bombers.
Well, Michael, there's an old baseball saying, a bloop and a blast. Well, Aaron Judge got the bloop, and Cody Bellinger got the blast. His 9th of the year. Got the Yankees on the board.
34 ribbies for Bellinger. Well, he took an extra base hit away. The top of the inning, no one was taking that away.
Now, that ball was hit hard in the middle of your story, too, Michael. You had to give us a C.
Had to. Well, my point about the numbers of this, Paul, the numbers prove it's not hyperbole. It's real.
Just as real as that. Inside fastball up in the seats. And Cody Bellinger, I had a long conversation with him yesterday. I've talked to him many times. And he's so refreshing just to talk to because he, you know, you could tell he's been around the game his whole life with his father and just talked about hitting a little bit and just he loves where he is mechanically much better than he was earlier in the season. See how his head and everything is behind the ball now, which gives him an opportunity to really throw that bat out front and drive the ball out of the ballpark.
That one's not third base side. That's going to be a base hit. No chance. A single for Chisholm.
Yeah, you might as well put that one in your back pocket. Just kind of cued it the other way. And watch, on the way down, he is going to just kind of put his hands out like, nah, you're not going to get me. Just don't even try. Right here, he figures out, yeah, don't try. You're not getting me.
6 stolen bases, so let's see if he's going. Volpe at the plate. Santana holds him. He goes. That one's driven out to left center field. Kwan is there. And he makes the play on the warning track. So Chisholm all the way down the second, jogs back to first. Paul, he might have stolen that standing up.
Yeah. Well, you look back at the home run, and early in the year you saw him really lunging, and now everything is behind the ball. And see how the bat hit it extends through the zone, and that's where his power comes from. Bellinger is mechanically in a much better spot now than he was starting the season. Oh, there's my view, Michael, from the side. I love it.
Love that. It's your favorite. Dominguez takes a strike.
Back to Volpe. I mean, the ball was hit hard, but when somebody early in the count, first pitch, is stealing, you've got to give them a chance to steal that base. You'd much rather hit with Jazz on second base, but it's just not taught that way as much anymore.
Is that hard to do, though, to see him out of the corner of your eye and stop your swing?
Not really. What you do is you just freeze. As soon as you hear he's going, which, you know, the first baseman's usually screaming, you hear it as a hitter, and you just freeze, and you let him try to steal the base. Now, I'm not talking about with a strike or 2 strikes, obviously, but first pitch of a count, and he had timed that perfect. You're right. He was going to steal that base standing up.
1-2. Keeping Jazz close. Still 1-2.
You weren't impressed with my scouting report when I said thumbs up. That's like the perfect thing for Dominguez back in the game, right?
You know, I'm not awed by your greatness anymore. I'm used to it.
Is that right?
Expect it, yeah.
No, now I got stage fright.
Have to be locked in tomorrow for the Red Sox.
We could just sit here and talk because there's going to be a lot of excitement. First time the Red Sox coming in town.
I think it'd be a good idea to just stay here.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Probably save a lot of time in traffic. That's
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Dominguez down on strikes. But the Yankees get on the board. The first hit off the bat of Aaron Judge, and then Bellinger with a blast. A belly blast. It's 2-0 Yankees as we go to the fifth. Decisions presented by Sage. How about the four-seamers? We told you the great numbers he's had with it. And most of his strikeouts have come with that pitch. It's got some life on it. Then he throws in one with a little sink to it. Not necessarily always up in the zone. So his ERA now is 1.82. And that's fourth in baseball. Bubic, Evaldi, and Senga in front. One 1-0 on Arias, leading off the fifth inning. I read something on a baseball site, I think it was 2 days ago, and I said, I got to ask Paul this. I'm going to ask you on the air. Well, when you won your championship with the Reds, that was 1990.
Right.
Marge Schott was the owner of the Reds. And the story said that she was so upset that you guys swept and didn't have a fifth game to make more money that she didn't pay for any kind of celebration. You guys had hamburgers.
This is true.
Really?
So, yeah, so what happens back then, I don't know if it's the same now, but the players' bonus comes from the first 4 games.
Yes.
And then
because you don't want players to have a reason to not win games.
Right. So, and then the last 5, 6, and 7 go to the owners. And she was upset that she didn't get a cut. So that night, we had a little get-together in the hotel, which was not paid by Marge. And at that time, there was a place called the Fog City Diner in San Francisco. There was actually a credit card a commercial going on at that time. Chris Sabo and I took our wife and we went to the Fog City Diner. Alone. That's how we celebrated. And then we had a flight the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, if Marge was still with us, I probably would have said, yeah, it's probably not true, but
it's true.
It's true.
So those that didn't take their wives to the Fog City Diner, I read that they had hamburgers in the hotel and she wouldn't pay for anything.
Yeah, it was kind of room service on your own.
Wow. Wow. And you also were talking about the Reds insisting on black shoes. That affected you guys too.
Well, a lot of times, yeah. Back to that point, the players were upset because we had to black out everything, the stripe, the swoop, if they were Adidas, and so players were having trouble getting shoe contracts, like other teams. So all of a sudden they went to the red spikes, and I think Dave Parker had a lot to do with it, where went to red spikes where. He got a big Adidas contract, and then Eric Davis came in with the Nike contracts. But before, I mean, why would a shoe company pay to see your logo and everything all blacked out?
Wow. Grounded back to Fried, one of the better fielding pitchers, and he gets the out at first.
You know, when Fried gets his stuff going, Michael, we have so much time to just talk about other things because you're very comfortable. He's just going to start mowing people down time and time again. Huh?
Well, after the walk to Fry, he's mowed everybody down. 11 in a row. Fouled away and out of play. 0-2 on Naylor. Now, we told you during the Open, the one thing that Fried has excelled at is being almost perfect following Yankee losses. And that's what a stopper is all about. You take the ball and you stop any kind of losing streak. And he's been able to do that. He's pitched 6 times. This is the 7th following a Yankee loss, and the team was 6-0 in the previous starts.
Yeah, in those 6-0 run, though, we talked about the numbers. His ERA was .066 coming into the game, and it's only gone down.
Yep.
And Michael, you better believe that Fried was bothered about that start against the Dodgers. He told me after that game that he's a competitor. He wants to win. The fact that he went out there, lost a lead, it just didn't sit well with him. He said he was going to think about it for a while, then use that as motivation to make sure that it never happens again. When Aaron Boone was asked earlier today whether or not he thought this was the pitcher that they were going to get, and he said, we knew he was good. We knew he's competitive on the mound, but he's got a sub-2 ERA. So maybe I didn't even expect him to be quite this good. But Paul, you talked about the job he's done filling in for Garrett Cole, who they lost for the season. One thing that Aaron Boone said has impressed him, not just what he's seen on the mound, but the teammate he has been to start the year.
You know, I had a conversation with him. Finally, I hadn't talked to him, and it was about a week ago, and talked very mild manner, soft-spoken, but you're right.
Very California chill.
Yes, very competitive when he gets on the mound.
Well, that breaks the string of 11 straight as Bo Naylor works a walk. Second walk for Fried.
Life moves, and so should your connection. Get fast and reliable speeds on the network that moves with you. Spectrum.
California chill. That's what I don't see you as a California chill guy, Mike.
But you know what? Meredith could pull it off.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Surfboard and all?
Oh, almost picked him off there. He was leaning.
Yeah, see, he'll hang that leg, and then all of a sudden, boom. It's very similar to what Andy Pettitte used to do with, you know, the same move. But Andy did not hold his leg up there like Fried does.
I've got to ask him tomorrow, does he decide if he's going to throw to first while the leg's still up in the air? Or does he make that decision before he goes into the motion?
It's usually before, unless the runner starts to give him an indication that he's going. You see him leaning or something like that.
I guess it would be difficult to do that just in the middle of the windup because you could pick off the first baseman.
And it's very easy to balk that way, too. You know, when you hang that leg up and try to read the runner. If the runner moves at all, you can do some things where the umpires can give him the base.
2-1 on Noel. 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Yankees lead 2-0 on the Bellinger blast.
Well, Michael, if you talk to him tomorrow, because I don't know if I'll get down there, it'd be interesting to me to find out if he tweaked his four-seam fastball at all because of the success he's had this year opposed to the past years. And he's always been a good pitcher and a winner. But his fastball numbers, his four-seam fastball numbers, down from 260 to 160. Something's a little different.
Little talk now between Wells and Fried. He's at 91 pitches, so he's probably not in that much longer. Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. But this guy's so super important. You're not pushing him to 120 the beginning of June. And we said it earlier, when you throw all those pitches, 28 in the first inning, you have to pay that bill later. It takes innings away later.
Well, you would think most of the time that, you know, a pitcher with 91 pitches in the 5th inning is really struggling. Well, you look at the scoreboard, there's a 0 up there.
3-2. Grounded to third. Let's see if they turn 2. There's one on the first. It's a double play. 5-4-3. 5 shutout innings for Fried. Halfway through, Yankees up by 2. Brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Audi scoreboard, 2-0 Yankees on the 4th inning 2-run shot off the bat of Cody Bellinger.
Keep climbing. You got to climb a long way to get to that rock up there. You know that?
That's a high climb. Austin Wells, Oswald Peraza, and Trent Grisham, 8, 9, and 1 against Slade Ciccone. Ripped into right field. It is a base hit in front of Noel, and he got fortunate that that ball did not get by him.
Yeah, that ball kind of caught him. I mean, that ball was scalded, and it wasn't a short hop. So this ball is the one that can get by you. You kind of just reach out there and hope. See, his eye wasn't even on it, but it did hit the pocket of the glove and stay in there. Right there, you think, oh, please, just hit leather, hit something.
Yeah, he didn't even look it into the glove. There's Peraza, gave it a ride last time. Really fine play by Martinez in left center in the old Death Valley.
You keep waiting for Peraza to get to that hot streak where he can become the offensive player that he was in the minor leagues. Defensively, he has been sound, but he's going to have to find some way. And he's had 2 good at-bats tonight. The one that got caught, and now another line drive. So just waiting for that to happen.
Back-to-back singles by the Yankees.
He's got such a good swing. You just can't figure out why he's not driving the ball more and hitting the ball a little bit more often.
You've always been high on his swing. You thought he was going to be a hitter.
I mean, right when he got here, I'm looking at this guy like, wow, this guy can do a lot of things. He uses his legs well. He doesn't try to overswing. His defense has always been great.
They're playing the infield in at the corners, expecting a bunt. Grisham didn't show that on the first pitch. Took it outside 1-0.
And I hope this isn't the case, but you look back, it was almost when he was moved from his natural positions as a shortstop, where I don't know that he got back to his confidence as an all-around player, you know. But his defense at second base, third base have been phenomenal.
Meredith, I see Peraza, and I think about Oswaldo Cabrera, and there was a little happy face in the Yankee clubhouse today, right?
Michael, and in true Cabrera fashion, smiling ear to ear, despite the fact that he rolled in on a scooter with his foot in a boot after having surgery on his ankle. But he did say he is feeling better. The swelling is going down on that. He's not really allowed to put any pressure on it yet, so there's not much he can do, but he is getting treatment. And he did mention that there's a small chance that he could make it back this season. He admitted that maybe he's being a little optimistic, but he's a very positive guy, and he said he's going to use his positivity to do everything he can to get back this season. But really just nice to see him back in that clubhouse. And he talked about how much it meant to him to have teammates like Aaron Judge and Anthony Volpe visit him that night in the hospital. When he asked the pain level he was feeling that evening, he said 10, maybe more. Tough night for Cabrera, but thankful for all the support.
Well, good to see him here at the ballpark, and just one of the joyful people in this game. We wish good things for him. And a quick recovery. 3-1 on Grisham. Rice on deck. 3-2. Ball 4. Bases loaded for Rice.
Oh, good at bat by Grisham. A close pitch, 3-2. As you see, Carl Willis going to head out there and try to get a game plan here. But the Yankees have an opportunity to put a big number up in this inning.
This baseball season, nothing hits like Dunkin'. Always a fan favorite. Swinging today. America runs on Dunkin'.
Well, Willis talking things over with Ciccone. No one warming yet for the Guardians. Casey Dykes giving a little bit of a scouting report of what Rice might see here. Rice hit a bullet to the left side in the first inning, out, and then a one-hopper in the fourth inning to second base, also out. Now he has a chance at the bases loaded. Well, Ben Rice has hit a grand slam, and that was against the Athletics in Sacramento. 0-1 on Rice.
Got to feel very comfortable in this at bat. He's pretty, his third at bat against Ciccone. Now he's in the driver's seat to really do some damage.
Chop to second. They're going to come home. They get the force over to first, and they get the double play. Well done by the Guardians. A 4-2-3 double play.
Yeah, this is where, as a runner, you're just so frustrated. The one thing you don't want to do is hit the chopper on the ground. Cleveland did a good job at getting a double play here, going to home and then to first. Oh, you get back to the bench and you just want that at bat over. You just cannot take it mentally that you let that happen.
Well, with first base open, they intentionally walked Judge to the displeasure of the crowd. But now they have to face Bellinger. Was a home run already. No offense to anybody hitting behind him. I'm surprised we don't see him more.
Well, I mean,
especially the year he's had.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreboard dictates a lot of at bats that Aaron Judge is going to be able to swing the bat, and obviously the situation here with first base open, I agree 100%. Not that I like it. I want to watch Aaron Judge hit every single time, but if you're playing the game of baseball and you're down 2-0, you can't let Aaron Judge see anything.
Ron Washington of the Angels walked him intentionally twice in the first 2 innings when the Yankees are in Anaheim. 0-2 on Bellinger.
You go back to the fourth inning, and this was a ball that he got to inside. Ciccone has been staying away in this at bat, and pitchers don't forget what pitch you took them deep on.
He was protecting right there. Just foul the back to get another at bat or get another hit. You said it before, he does have a 2-strike approach. It's different than strike 1 and 2.
A lot of players want their best swing every at bat. Well, Cody Bellinger, you see, he does adjust. If he can flare one to left field with 2 strikes, he'll take it.
And you could see with him, even to the untrained eye, because his first 2 swings for the first 2 strikes, so violent. And then he takes something off of it with 2 strikes.
A little less movement, a shorter swing, just to poke it somewhere.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count on Cody Bellinger. 1-2.
That's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about. With the two-strike approach, Michael, you're taking a shorter swing. So you're seeing the ball a little bit longer. So the longer swing, you're going to swing at those balls out of the strike zone a lot. So the shorter swing is actually going to help you stay in the strike zone.
2-2. Pressure mounting on Ciccone here. No place to put Bellinger. Wants to make it work on 2-2. Peraza at third, Grisham at second, and Judges at first. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Right in on the hands, fouled off. Right-hander sets. Rocks and deals. Count is full. Always remember, our former colleague Ken Singleton would say, I didn't feel pressure with the bases loaded. Pressure's on the pitcher.
Well, the pressure is now because you fought all the way back, and now it's a full count. You stay with that same approach of the short swing, slap it anywhere.
Runners will go. Driven out to center field. Plenty of room out there for Martinez, and he makes the play as Ciccone works out of problems, and the Yankees leave the bases loaded. Thank you, Bob. We're going around the majors. Chris Sale, what a season he's having after a Cy Young season last year. Jack Caglione, the youngster, the Royals just called up RBI double for his first career hit. And Rafael Devers has been really swinging the bat well after a very slow start for the Red Sox. And we'll see the Red Sox starting tomorrow. The first time these two teams will see each other. And it'll be on June 6th. And then very next weekend at Fenway.
With the bullpen up, I think Aaron Boone's, rolling the dice here that he could go 1-2-3. If he could get Wilson here, you want him to face Kwan. And then obviously if he got 2 outs, he would try to get out of the inning. But not a very long leash here with 96 pitches.
1-2 on Wilson, who struck out in the third. 7 strikeouts and 2 walks for Fried. Swing and a miss. 8th strikeout. Hey, it's time for Name That Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. So this is a 9. Wow, 270, 33 home runs, 173 ribbies. Played for the Yankees in 74 and 75. The Houston Colt 45s in 64. And that's the Shea Stadium Yankees, by the way, 74, 75. White Sox and the then Indians.
That's back in the day a little bit, Mike.
Yeah.
I might need a little help here.
I mean, when you can say Colt 45s.
Yeah. And without even being cued that it was going to happen, you just threw it out there. And that was an old White Sox logo, too. I got another trivia for you, Mike.
Okay.
Just happened. Ciccone did a great job.
Right.
Bases loaded, nobody out, did not give up a run. What are the chances? Bases loaded, nobody out. Percentage-wise, they at least score 1.
Volpe gets Kwan. I'd say you probably score at least 1 run 56% of the time.
Ooh, we get guesses all over. Audrey, you're closer. You said 70. It's 85% that you score 1.
Wow.
And the average with that situation, you're scoring 2+ with bases loaded. So a great job for Ciccone with that double play. And then Bellinger had a good at bat. He just elevated that ball a little bit too much to center field.
Fried is at an even 100 as they let him face Martinez.
Good job, Audrey. You beat Michael. How you like that? And Mikey knows everything. You know that?
That's not true. He's not even close.
He's not the Mikey that'll try everything back from the old cereal commercials, but
You know, when I was at the Knicks game the other day,
Yeah.
I ran into Mikey.
No.
He's a great sales guy that works for Madison Square Garden, and he looks like Mikey older.
And he'll try anything.
He likes it. He's a good guy.
That's funny.
Ground ball, Chisholm. And a 1-2-3 inning for Fried. He gives the Yankees 6 shutout innings. What new? For the Optimum, don't take slow for an answer replay. Nothing slow about this, Paul. What a catch by Martinez.
Yeah, off the bat, like I said earlier, I thought it was in the bullpen, and then Martinez made a tremendous play out there in center field. But Raza came back with a base hit his next time, so he's had a couple good at bats.
Well, that'll probably do it for Fried. And there aren't enough superlatives. I mean, the way he has pitched this year following losses every single start except for the one against the Dodgers, he has just been better than advertised. And this was a really fine pitcher with the Braves.
Yeah, he was 30 games over 500 career, so he's been a winner his whole career. But, you know, even going out for that last inning, you know it's a 1-2-3 inning or I'm out. And
Right.
he did it in 10 pitches.
And he gave up one hit. The softest, cheapest hit that you could possibly have in the first inning. That was it.
Yeah, remember that exit Vivo was 39.
Yeah. Jacob Junis has taken over for the Guardians. As Ciccone pitched well over 5 innings, just allowed that one swing to Bellinger for a 2-run home run.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out Ciccone and how he was getting it done. As you see Chisholm ground one up the middle, because he was not overpowering. It didn't have a great breaking ball, but he kept the Yankees off the barrel. Look at the bullpen budget.
And it's brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. So Cruz with 18 pitches last night, Hill 15, and Hedrick 10. All the big guns are available. Williams, Loizaga, Leiter. They need Hamilton, De Los Santos. His work is done.
Michael K., how's the arm feeling? You
I feel
available
all right.
tonight?
I feel all right. Looks like Mark Leiter will be first out of the pen. He has very quietly had a solid start to the season. Volpe with a high fly ball to right. One down.
You saw last time Chisholm on first base. He stole second twice, but both times one was a strikeout and one was a fly ball by Volpe. So he was trying to steal early in the game. See if he continues to try to get a jump. Junis doing a good job of getting in the stretch position where he can hold him a long time with the pitch clock. Last thing you want is to be flat-footed on first base and try to steal. You want to be kind of moving or, you know, on your toes, and the longer a pitcher holds you, the more that you have a tendency to just kind of sink into your heels, and it's a very hard way to try to steal a base.
One and two. Junis, 32 years old, 9th big league season. Close at first. So Junis had 9 scoreless innings to begin the season, but in his last 15 games since late April, 6.50 ERA. Stephen Vogt says he could pitch leverage and length. So big moments, and if he has to give him 3 innings, he can do that. Runner goes. Throw to second. It goes into center field. Hurdling the shortstop is Chisholm, and he'll go to third. Paul, I think that throw almost hit Junis in the head.
Well, I tell you, I love speed. I love to see the Yankees use their speed. Not even a great jump. He's just fast. And again, you're right. A low throw got a great read. Saw the ball go into center field. And now you're in a position where the Guardians are going to have to bring the infield in, and you've got a good chance at tacking on a run. He is an athletic player.
7 stolen base. Infield is in. 2-2 count on Jason Dominguez. And so stolen base and an E2 on Naylor. Dominguez, after missing the first 2 games with the thumb injury, he's 0 for 2 tonight. And he strikes out on the 3-2 changeup. Runner remains at third.
Well, if you break down this swing, look at the difference in what Bellinger does with 2 strikes and there. That ball right there is down and away, something you just want to kind of poke the other way, infield in. And that was a swing where he was trying to just rope one to right field.
So here's Wells. High fly ball to Kwon. Out number 3. The Yankees don't cash in the run. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. Let's go to the 7th. I'll give you another clue. With all those clues, he was missing a part of his anatomy.
You can tell me all the clues you want. I'm not getting it. No neck. Yeah.
Walt No Neck Williams. He wore number 13 before Alex Rodriguez was in elementary school. And we go into the ball for some Walt No Neck Williams.
He looked like a power hitter.
Look at Walt. And he had legs too, wheels.
He had legs in the bat. He doesn't have a neck, huh?
All that without a neck. 5'6", 165. Yankees got him in a 3-team trade. Cleveland and Detroit, the other teams. With the Yankees, 125 games, 244. And the great uncle of Mason Williams played with the Yankees from 2015 through 2017. Now, we want to thank a guy named Skip Malone, big Yankee fan from Rockland County. And he had been emailing our producer, Troy Benjamin, for 2 years that you got to do No Neck Williams. You have to. So that's for you, Skip.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at the footage there. Never in my wildest dreams would I think was 5'6". He looked big.
Well, he looked thick. But if he had a normal neck, he would have been 5'8",
yeah,
5'9".
That's because it was cropped right there. It wasn't in 4K.
3-0 from a lighter to Ramirez. See what he's done so far this year. He's pitched in some high leverage spots. When you're up 2-0 in the 7th, this is high leverage as he deals a strike to Ramirez. Ramirez has the Guardians' only hit, that 39-mile-an-hour broken bat single in front of Chisholm and Volpe.
This is an encore presentation by Prevagen, Michael.
Wow.
If you want to read.
I don't know if I'd mess with the guy on the left. The guy on the right seems friendly. The guy on the left, no, I'm good.
You know, he's using his no neck on the left. He's hunched over a little bit.
Looped into right field. Is that going to find grass? Yes, it is. Really nice try by Peraza. Couldn't get there, and it was in front of Bellinger. So another soft single for Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez has not hit it hard tonight. You see he's out in front there and almost slowed his bat down. But Bellinger does a good job of holding back, knowing he can't get to it, which allows Peraza to at least give it an effort and slide into it. If Bellinger runs in there too close, and Peraza can't even make an effort either. But neither guy could get to this one.
Here's David Fry. 0-1 on Fry. Walk, stole a base in the first. Fly ball to right in the fourth. We're in the seventh. The Yankees lead 2-0 on the strength of Bellinger's home run in the fourth inning. Nice pitch. Curveball drops in for a strike.
The Leiter loves his splitter here, but you got to also remember that Ramirez would love to steal a base on a split finger. So you got to figure out, obviously, the hitter, getting the hitter out is more important. Went back to the slow curveball. Got a big strikeout. And I really don't see him use his curveball as much with 2 strikes because of his great split finger. Gets ahead in the count with it. It's a really effective pitch early in the count just to get me over strike.
So here's Carlos Santana. Oh, vacated spot on the left side, picks up a hit. Jazz was shading almost up the middle. He's the third baseman, so that whole side was open, and Santana took advantage for single.
Yeah, Santana, a much better hitter from the left side, and he got a ball kind of in and just pushed it the other way. Ramirez not able to get to third base, so try to get a ground ball, try to get a double play.
That gives him a 14-game hitting streak, longest active streak in the majors. How about this about Santana? Comes into this game with 331 home runs.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
that's the 8th most all-time by a switch hitter.
Over 1,000 RBIs too, right?
399 career doubles. I mean, he's had a long career, but he's been a good player. Loizaga and Hill, as Matt Blake goes out and talks with Leiter, that conversation's done.
But back to Santana, you know, you talk about his offensive numbers, and he's worked to where he finally won a Gold Glove last year.
Yep. You know, Yankees investigated a lot of first basemen during the offseason. They settled on Goldschmidt, but Santana was considered as well. Here's Arias. First and second, one out. Volpe will go to third, and the throw is dropped. It was a little wide as Chisholm couldn't handle it, so the bases are loaded.
Yeah, this is a big play. You got to get an out here. Leiter did his job. Soft hit ball. Volpe had to go a little bit to get it, but he chose to go to third base. He would have had him easily, but a little bit wide. And now you've got bases loaded. Aaron Boone heading to the mound to get back out in the bullpen.
Not sure how they scored that. It's got to be an error. You would think that'll do it for Leiter. They go to the bullpen. Bases loaded with one out for the Guardians. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees, and by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. So they turn to Tim Hill. And he's going to face Bo Naylor, and you can see why. 119 opponents average against lefties.
Yeah, lefties, and also his ground ball percentage, which is 66%, fourth best in the major league. So good matchup for Tim Hill right here.
Jumps on the first pitch and fouls it off. So they score that. An error on Volpe on the throw. The Arias ground ball. Bases loaded. Yankees lead 2-0. 1-1. One and two. miss. Got him. Naylor down on strikes. 2 down.
Well, you don't see this a lot from Tim Hill, but he got to 2 strikes against a lefty, and he went with a slider. I mean, he is majority of the time sinker, 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 but a great pitch to get a strikeout. I think an opportunity. You see that delivery. That ball just moves enough to get away from a left-hander's bat.
And a strike.
Again, Naylor's looking for that sinker possibly coming in on him, and he threw that slider that went away from him and got a huge strikeout.
0-2 on Noel. Crowd looking for strike 3. Fouled away. Foul back.
Tim Hill's not going to change. He's going to keep throwing strikes. Try to get a ground ball. He needs to get the ball down in the strike zone, and I think he'll get Noel here.
And the 0-2. Popped up. There's Bellinger. Another fine job by Hill. He gets out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam, doesn't allow a run. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one 2-0, but we're going to stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Greg Quinones from Bayamon, Puerto Rico, who served in Operation Enduring Freedom. The Yankees say, thank you, Greg, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Throw the light with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, right before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Well, thank you, guys. 2-6-2 for the Yanks, 0-3-1 for the Guardians. Ciccone won 5. Ramirez with 2 singles. Max Fried was Max Fried, as Jack said. Cody Bellinger, the 2-run home run in the 4th. That's the scoring in the game. Junis, 2nd inning of work, will deal to Peraza. There's a strike. Peraza hit one deep to left center for an out, and then singled hard to center field. So 1 for 2.
Good idea right there. Trying to tack on a run, but Ramirez playing really deep at third base.
Another hard hit ball. Leadoff single.
Is this the beginning of a string for Peraza? Because there are 3 great consecutive at-bats. Hit hard every single time. A weird grip on that. Just seemed like a two-seamer, but it hammered into the left field.
Here's Trent Grisham. He walked in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2. And that one's tapped in front of home plate. Nice play by Naylor. Gets 1, doesn't get 2.
It looked like Peraza was going and got caught on the front step, and it didn't go, and then it would have been an easy sacrifice, swinging sacrifice bunt. But a good job by Naylor getting out of the crouch, getting that throw to second base.
He wondered if the Yankees would challenge if he kept his foot on the bag, but no challenge. Ben Rice, 1-0. Bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Announce the crowd. Another nice crowd, 41,665. Right field, Noel back on the track. He makes the play up against the wall as Grisham hustles back to first. I was going to bring up Judge, and I'm sure that this has to be going through Judge's mind. If Jacob Junis, if that rings a bell to Yankee fans, it's because of July 26, 2018. He hit Judge with a pitch, causing a chip fracture Judge's right wrist that knocked him out for 45 games. Judge has been hit by a pitch today, intentionally walked, and a double and a run scored. He doubled in front of Bellinger's home run. And the pitch. 3-0. And they decide to throw ball 4 intentionally or not throw it. So an intentional walk to Judge with first base filled.
Wow. Now that's a major intentional walk.
Yeah. Well, Stephen Vogt going to go to the bullpen with Bellinger coming up. Goes to a lefty, Allard. And we go all the way to the 4th inning. Fry with a long drive to right. And Bellinger with a really fine play. Turned it into an out. And that little guy got on TV. Look at the smile. Very cool.
Instant information now, Michael, with the cell phone.
Yep.
You have to hear it at school the next day, right?
Colby Allard. Yankees saw him on Tuesday. And he'll face Bellinger.
Yeah, before we went to break, you gave Aaron Judge first base, but first base was occupied. Now you've got Grisham at second base, but if you're Stephen Vogt, what do you do? I mean, you cannot let Aaron Judge beat you. Cody Bellinger already has a home run. That's the difference in this game.
Well, the interesting part of the move is that Bellinger hits lefties very, very well. So this is the platoon move, but it doesn't always work against Bellinger. One and one.
Talking about the Vogt, I mean, he's done a great job. He's only his second season here. He was an American League Rookie Manager of the Year last year.
check out the Bellinger home runs exit velocity presented by Spectrum. 101.6 off the bat. Traveled 398 feet. 9th home run of the year. And that's the scoring, though, on that one swing. 2-1. 2-2. Chisholm on deck. Ground ball, a base hit through the right side. Grisham rounds third. He's coming home. Judge goes to third. The throw not in time. It's an RBI single for Bellinger. He's driven in all 3 runs. Yankees lead 3-0.
Well, you respect Aaron Judge. You also respect Cody Bellinger for a big at-bat right here. Just keeping that front shoulder in there, hitting the ball hard, finding a hole on the right side, a breaking ball. And you've got to stay in there as a lefty to get this pitch. Good job by Grisham with a good jump. Everything going well for the Yankees here in the 7th.
So 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Bellinger picks up his 35th ribby. And there's a strike to Chisholm. Chisholm 2 for 3 tonight. He's got the average at 200 now. Came in hitting 188. Allard got 5 outs on Tuesday when Cleveland was losing, so he kept it close, but he gives up that big hit to Bellinger. And if you want to know how do you stop having Aaron Judge intentionally walk, the guy behind him gets those hits.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to see Aaron Judge at times get walked, and it's really
deep to right, down the line, but foul.
And it's more to do with Aaron Judge than anybody hitting behind him. It's just, you know, he's the best player in the American League and probably in baseball. So, you know what? You go through meetings, you go through analytics, whatever you want. That guy right there is really good.
There's a base hit up the middle for Chisholm. Judge scores. Chisholm with 3 hits and the Yankees with a 4-0 lead.
A good job by Jazz to stay on this pitch as well and hit it up the middle. Another run. 2 big runs for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 7th. Allard comes in to get out lefties, but you see that ball just kind of hangs there. Not a lot of movement away. Jazz stays on it, lines it right up the middle.
And here comes Willis as the pitching coach, Carl Willis, wants to settle down Allard. So since coming off the IL, he had that big home run Tuesday. He has 3 hits tonight. And he does give the Yankees an infusion of energy. That ties his season high. He had it March 30th against Milwaukee. And there's Nick Enright warming. Certainly gives the Yankee bullpen some breathing room, a 4-0 lead. They have 9 hits, and the Guardians with 3.
You can't really say enough about what Tim Hill did also. Last inning, bases loaded, 1 out, got the big strikeout, and then a fly out.
Base hit in front of Noel. Bellinger's going to stop at third. The throw comes all the way home, and the Yankees have the bases loaded on the Volpe single. While Paul's talking about it, it's the Audi Electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, these are big pictures that some people forget. I mean, this is nobody out. 1 out with man on bases loaded, and all of a sudden, he gets out of it. And that gives the Yankees opportunity to really throw on a 2-spot, and now you got 4-0. But a great job by Tim Hill.
There's Dominguez from the right side, and the pitch inside. High fly ball. Martinez makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get 2 big runs. They leave the bases loaded. We go to the 8th. They're up 4-0. Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it tomorrow. First 18,000 guests receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today, Yankees.com. Hill stays in. And Wilson fouls off the first pitch as we start the 8th. Hyundai scoreboard, 4-0 Yanks.
You know, it makes sense to me now, Michael, because I was thinking, why would you give a giveaway?
Volpe.
On a Friday night with the Boston Red Sox, because you're going to sell out anyway. But tomorrow's D-Day, so
right.
it means something. Now it all comes together.
None of these things are by accident, Paul. There's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Man, oh, man.
Debbie Timon's not playing.
Oh, no, she's... Debbie and her group, I mean, does anybody do it better?
They're great. All the events here. Paul Goldschmidt takes over at first base. Tighten up the defense. And the first pitch to Quan is a strike. Popped up. Two-way. Hey fans, the Gotham Sports app is your home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more, and it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Jonathan Loaizaga ready to roll. Angel Martinez at the plate. I'll tell you what, Paul. I mean, there are bigger names out in that bullpen. This guy is a weapon on the mound. He's fearless. He fills the strike zone, and he gets big outs.
I was just going to ask you, Mike, is there anybody that you would want to base your pitching mentality on? Here, I got the ball. I'm going to throw a strike. I'm going to get you out or you're going to get hit. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to try to trick you. You know what I got. I got a sinker, a little slider. I'm going to throw strikes, and I'm going to get you out.
He's got huge, huge guts. Yep. He really does. I mean, it says something to be fearless on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
And no situation seems too big for him. He doesn't sweat that much on the mound.
Yeah, you saw him with the bases loaded jam. He comes out of the bullpen. I mean, his body language is exactly the same it is now with nobody on base.
Here, hit this. I dare you.
No, hit it on the ground. That's what I really want. I just want a ground ball, and I'll go to the dugout.
High fly ball left field. Dominguez drifts back. He's there. And Hill faces 5 batters. And 5 batters go back to the dugout without a hit. My number, presented by the New York Lottery, as Gracie Cashman sits down with Basketball Hall of Famer Vince Carter for an inside look at the numbers that defined his career. Streaming now on the Gotham Sports app. Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees lead 4-0. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Austin Wells will lead off against the new pitcher, Nick Enright. 0-1. After this game, Cleveland heads home. 6-game homestand, 3 against the Astros and 3 against the Reds. Battle of Ohio. Yankees stay right where they are as the Red Sox come to town. Enright, 28 years old, made his major league debut May 25th. Diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma in December 2022. And within 2.5 years, he's in the majors. He's done well with his rounds of immunotherapy treatment, with 1 more scheduled for November. I'd like to hear those stories as he gets Wells on strikes.
Good breaking ball down. Wells just swings through it. They had been up in the strike zone earlier with him, and that ball right there down the middle of the plate, but lower part of the strike zone. So
Here's Peraza.
Can continue. He's had 3 great at bats. This one popped up to right field.
Noel puts it away. 2 outs. Trent Grisham's 0 for 3 with a walk. And a strike from Enright. Fastball up and in. Two down, bottom of the 8th. Yanks up 4-0. Two and one. Now 3-1. Line drive and caught by Wilson. As the Yankees go down 1-2-3. Last chance for the Guardians coming up in the 9th. They'll face Loizaga. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. And by Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at Untuckit.com for more than 80 stores worldwide. Larry Doby, first African American to play in the American League. Elston Howard, the first to play for the Yankees. Jonathan Loizaga will try to get the final 3 outs, and the pitch com's not working.
You know, we were talking about Yogi's bobblehead tomorrow, and you know, I was looking at some of the all-time greats with Cleveland. Bob Feller, 266 wins, but he missed 3 seasons in the service of World War II. I mean, easily 300-game winner, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from the manager. Plus, we'll look ahead to the series with the Red Sox. It's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. And they are having some trouble. I do have one more as they figure out the pitch com. One more accolade for Tim Hill. This is from the brilliant Katie Sharp. Batters are now 0 for 14 against Tim Hill as a Yankee with the bases loaded.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, that's a lot of runs saved right there.
Yep.
And it goes back to what you said earlier in the game. As who's the pressure on, the hitter or the pitcher? And Tim Hill, he throws the same with bases loaded as he does with nobody on base.
Yep.
So it doesn't change anything. So there's your numbers.
0-1 on Ramirez. 2 more hits for Ramirez.
You see Ramirez a little frustrated. He had 2 check swing calls last night for strikeouts, and then the first strike in this count. So he's probably feeling I'm not quite getting a fair shake here.
Grounded foul. Upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Boston Red Sox come to town tomorrow night. That'll be on Yes. Saturday on Fox. Sunday on ESPN. Yankees hit the road 3 in KC and then 3 at Fenway. We get the gang back together tomorrow. Me, you, and Coney.
Coney.
Yep.
It's going to make it easy for us up here. Coney will have all kind of stories. He played for both the Red Sox and the Yankees. He knows everything.
Got him. Tipped into the glove of Wells. Got him on a change. Take a look at all the hits the Yankees have had. 10 of them on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. Use the whole field.
I like that white one, Michael. That puts a mark on the scoreboard.
Yep. They had 5 hits last night. They said, let's double it. It hasn't quite been fireworks, but they'll take it. Here's Kyle Manzardo pinch hitting for Fry.
We're working July 4th this year.
That's right.
City Field, right?
That's right. Fly ball left field, left center. Dominguez. Yankees are not away. And that'll bring up Carlos Santana. 1 for 3, single through a vacated hole on the left side. That was in the 7th inning. And that was a real threat by the Guardians. Had the bases loaded with 1 out, but we've mentioned it. Hill with a strikeout, a nailer. Get Noel to fly out to right. 0-1. 4-0, so not a save situation for Loaisiga. Be good for him to have a bounce back outing because in LA gave up 2 home runs in an inning. I think we still haven't seen prime Loaisiga yet.
No, I mean, when you start seeing that sinker at 99 to 100, 101, then you know he's back. But boy, it's good to see him back out on the mound for the Yankees. He looked at that good changeup to get Ramirez for the strikeout and went back to it there.
And there's Goldschmidt. And he flips to Loaisiga, and the Yankees win 4-0. And they have taken their 8th series out of the last 9. 6 shutout for the Yankees this year. That's tied for 3rd in the American League. Cleveland has 8. Kansas City 7. And the Yankees win again and wait for the Red Sox for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about the Red Sox, but a good game tonight. You know, business as usual for Max Fried. Just another great outing. Big offensive night for Cody Bellinger. Big base hit after the Aaron Judge walk and a home run earlier in the game. Yankees win. Let's go Red Sox.
4-0 Bombers will come back with awards and then, of course, the post-game show after that.